History is written by the winners. In the NBA, that means history is written by the guys with the rings, the MVPs, and the billion-dollar shoe deals. We spend decades debating LeBron versus MJ. We argue about Steph's gravity and Kobe's Mamba mentality. But there is a shadow world in basketball, a world filled with assassins who outscored your idols, defenders who made the GOATs cry for a sub, playmakers who saw the future before it happened. These are the players the Hall of Fame forgot to mention in the first sentence. The guys who, if they played in New York or LA today, would be the faces of the league. But instead, they become ghosts. Over the next 100 minutes, we aren't just looking at stats. We're resurrecting the most disrespected, underrated, and overlooked legacies in the history of the hardwood. Buckle up. Let's start with a trivia question that usually loses people money. Who scored the most points in the entire decade of the 1980s? Was it Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, Kareem? No, it was Alex English. From 1980 to 1989, English put up more buckets than anyone on the planet. He was a 6'8" scoring machine with a jumper that started behind his head and ended in a swish. He made it look effortless. He didn't scream. He didn't pound his chest. He just went for 30 every single night. Why don't we talk about him? Because he played in Denver. Because he didn't have a flashy nickname. But if you watch the tape, his footwork was a masterclass. He was the prototype for the modern scoring wing. He averaged 20-plus points for 9 straight seasons. If Alex English plays in today's space and pace era, he's a 35-point-per-game scorer, period. Michael Jordan is widely considered the greatest to ever do it. And when MJ says a player was a problem, you listen. Jordan once said of this man, "When you play against Sidney Moncrief, you're in for a night of all-around basketball. He hounds you everywhere." Sidney Sir Sid Moncrief, the man who won the first Defensive Player of the Year awards in history as a guard. People think the 80s was just about Showtime and the Celtics, but Moncrief's Milwaukee Bucks were the wall that everyone hit. He was a 6'3" nightmare. He didn't just play defense. He took your soul. He was the only guy who could lock you down on one end and give you 21, 6, and 5 on the other. He was Kawhi Leonard before Kawhi Leonard, but with the vertical of a high jumper. His knees gave out, and so did his spot in the mainstream conversation. Adrian Dantley was 6'5", but he played like he was 7 feet tall. He was a master of the low post. He was the king of the and one. Dantley averaged 30 points per game for consecutive seasons. Think about that. He is one of the most efficient scorers to ever pick up a basketball. He would get you in the post, pump fake you into the air, draw the contact, and finish the play. But Dantley was labeled as difficult. He was traded right before the Pistons became the bad boys and won championships. Because he didn't get those rings. History treated his 23,000 career points like they were an accident. They weren't. He was a surgical scorer who lived at the free throw line. We've spent minutes talking about the players who didn't get the documentaries, the statues, or the constant TV coverage. Basketball is more than just a trophy case. It's about the art of the game. It's about the guy who shows up in a small market, plays through pain, puts up legendary numbers, and goes home. The players we discussed today: English, Moncrief, Price, Leva, Dantley, Johnson. They are the foundation of the NBA. They are the reason the game evolved. So the next time you're in a barber shop or a comment section arguing about the GOAT, remember the ghosts. Remember the guys who did the work without the credit. Because greatness doesn't need a spotlight to be real. Who did we miss? Who is your most underrated player of all time? Let us know in the comments. Let's start a war. And don't forget to hit that sub button if you respect the history of the game.